Business Latest is brought to you by Catalum, the most efficient and environmentally friendly aluminium smelter.
All the news, all the time. AlJazeera.net/English.
In 1984, a new energy company was born, here in Qatar. In 1996, it began production, bringing pride and recognition to the nation and destined to touch the lives of billions of people around the world. Learning quickly from the world's experts, by the end of the decade, we'll be producing 42 million tons of liquefied natural gas a year for markets in Europe, Asia, and North America. Energy that is reliable. Energy that is safe. We are proud of our achievement and technological breakthroughs. We are proud of our people. Most importantly, we are proud of our responsibility to deliver energy to the world.
The relocation of the Ahmadiyya has magnified the issue of religious intolerance in Indonesia. Is this inevitable in a multicultural society? And is the government turning a blind eye? 101 East at this time on Al Jazeera.
Personal blogs by professional journalists. blogs.aljazeera.net. This is Al Jazeera.
Welcome to the News Hour, live from Doha. I'm Imran Garda from Al Jazeera News Centers from here in Doha, Washington and London. These are the main stories. Is reality setting in for Libya's rebels? Leaders are now asking for help to overthrow Gaddafi. Defending Ras Lanuf, Libyan rebels battle to hold on to a key oil town.
I'm Shebra Tansi in Washington. The top story from the Americas. The U.S. president says Washington and its NATO allies are still considering a military response in Libya.
I want to send a very clear message to those who are around Colonel Gaddafi. It is their choice to make how they operate moving forward, and they will be held accountable.
I'm Stephen Cohen in London with the top stories from Europe, including the British Foreign Minister says a misunderstanding led to the arrests of a team sent to negotiate with Libyan rebels. Sources tell Al Jazeera British security forces exchanged fire with local farmers before they were detained.
And trying to keep the peace in Côte d'Ivoire. We report on the clashes threatening to tear the African country apart once again. Muammar Gaddafi's forces have struck back hard against rebel positions in Libya. Rebel forces are under fire in Ras Lanuf in the east and have lost control of Zawiya near Tripoli. They still hold Misrata, their only foothold in western Libya, and a new front line is drawn near Bin Jawad. Tony Bertley reports from there.
In the shifting sands of north-central Libya, the confusion of conflict is sweeping through the rebellion, where it has reached and where it is going. The mass build-up of men and heavy weapons continues from the rebel side, and men of all ages and from all backgrounds have answered the call to arms. The new front line is near here in the small town of Bin Jawad, where the momentum of the rebel advance has been halted by Gaddafi's forces.
They stay in the house and take all the families in front of them and start to shoot us. So that make us get behind a little. We can't shoot because if we shoot, it's a random. If we shoot, we may kill some of the families.
But it's an unpredictable area where accurate information is scarce. Territory is changing hands frequently, and the threat of infiltration and counterattack is high.
The speed and relative ease it took the rebels to reach her has taken everyone by surprise. Gaddafi's hardcore well-trained units are about 180 kilometres down this road. They are said to be equipped with a vast array of high-tech weaponry. and those with military knowledge are wondering when and not if they're going to use it.
Gaddafi forces have been spotted in the area, and although opposition fighters seem unfazed, locals are aware of what lies ahead.
What about if they go to Sirte? And Sirte people, 100% they are waiting for these people. Really, I didn't know, maybe people without, they cut the half of them.
The nearby town of Ras Lanuf has changed hands several times. It's now held by the rebels. According to locals, Gaddafi's men simply withdrew. Now most here are leaving, fearful of what is going to happen.
We are stuck in the middle between both sides and don't know where the bombs are coming from.
What started as a civil uprising is developing into an armed struggle, but not yet a civil war that many fear. The sound of jets above sends the rebels into defence mode, firing wildly into the air at a target they cannot see.
There's a military plane. We're afraid of him. Let him, we come here to die.
But only 2 bombs that we know of were dropped, and both missed the large concentrations of fighters and hit the desert, and no one was hurt. Some are wondering whether the pilots are deliberately missing in sympathy with the rebellion. It's one of the many puzzling aspects to this conflict. Fighters, though, say Bin Jawad is only a temporary hold-up. They are preparing to take the fight onwards through Sirte, then Misrata, and then finally Tripoli. No one here, however, predicts what tomorrow may bring. Tony Bertley, AlJazeera, near Bin Jawad, north-central Libya.
Well, when the uprising in Libya began, the message from opposition forces was clear. They would overthrow Muammar Gaddafi on their own. Now, that tune has changed. In the last 24 hours, they have begun to call for outside help against Gaddafi's air power. Gulf Arab leaders are also throwing their weight behind the idea, asking for a UN-enforced no-fly zone. Well, for more on that, let's cross over to our Washington, D.C. news center and Shihab. Shihab?
Thanks, Imran. Indeed, President Obama is saying Washington and its NATO allies are still considering a military response to the crisis in Libya. Speaking alongside the Australian Prime Minister, Julia Gillard, on Monday at the White House, Obama again called the violence in Libya, quote, unacceptable.
I want to send a very clear message to those who are around Colonel Gaddafi. It is their choice to make how they operate moving forward, and they will be held accountable for whatever violence continues to take place there. In the meantime, we've got NATO, as we speak, consulting in Brussels around a wide range of potential options, including potential military options, in response to the violence that continues to take place inside of Libya.
The president's comments following statements from several leading U.S. officials who are calling on the president to take more concrete steps to stop the violence in Libya. Here's what senior Democratic U.S. Senator